Hello and welcome to the Volleyball Debate Show, where this week we are focusing on volleyball and, more importantly, the top 5 teams from the last 20 years. That's right, we're back between the years of the year 2000 to the year 2020, the current day, to select the top 5. My name is Lewie Lett, and I can't wait to introduce our guests this week. First of all, we have Michael Solustri, the head coach of Kare Mol, Enrico Rossi, and also Samoilovs and Smedins from Latvia, 2 of the most expansive teams on the world tour. Also a coach of 5 Olympics. Marco, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing? How's Italy? How's Rome?
It's great. Great weather. It would be perfect to play in May here.
Yeah, it would be ideal. It's ideal everywhere. It's ideal. I'm in London and it's absolutely perfect weather for beach volleyball here. We also have Kare Mol, the head coach of the Beach Volley Vikings, coached at 96 Olympics and obviously now coaching the top ranked team in the world. The Beach Volley Vikings so prolific in volleyball over the past 2 years. So welcome, Kare. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We are right in Oslo right now practicing, and in Oslo also the weather is perfect. But 2 weeks ago we were training outside and we had snow, so it's a bit shifting in Norway.
Unbelievable, but it seems like Norway and Switzerland, you, the head coach of our next guest, but you're back out training and you're preparing already for more tournaments.
We are in good shape, we are healthy, and it's kind of weird that we have no tournaments to practice for, but we are healthy and in good mood and smiling and doing our very best in this situation.
Yeah, I think we all can't wait until the next tournament takes place. And finally, we have head coach of Swiss pairing, Heide Gerson, Mike Suter. Mike, welcome. You've overseen a really impressive period of growth for your team over the past couple of seasons. That includes a 5th in Vienna and also your first win in Schau earlier on in the year. So welcome. How's Switzerland, mate?
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I think it's great. Similar as in Norway, back to practice, and biggest fight at the moment we have sometimes with the weather. But it's good to be back, good to be in the sand and do what we actually love to do. Yeah, great, thanks.
Yeah, I think we all can't wait until that first one comes back on. Right. So we have 3 of the best guests that we could possibly have in beach volleyball. But the challenge for all of us today is to whittle down 20 teams over the past 2 decades to just 5 to find out which are our top 5 teams of the last 20 years. So the first thing is that it's very difficult to whittle down these teams to just 20, and it's been an absolute nightmare. So sorry if you're a player or a fan and your team hasn't made it in, but the job today is that the coach has been asked to have a look, come up with their reasoning to why you might have your favorite teams and why they might be in the top 5, and then it's our job collectively to whittle them down to 5 as a collective group. Please put your recommendations, your comments, your opinions in the comment box. But I'm pretty sure that none of us are going to come up with the same 5, and I'm pretty sure that you at home are not going to come up with the same 5 either. So there's no right or wrong answer. But first of all, what we're going to do is go through each coach, and I'm going to discuss a team at each point that you feel should be in the top 5 and why. And once we've all had 5 selections, we're going to discuss our shared vision of a top 5 team. Top 5 teams in world volleyball. Coaches, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what we like to hear. So it doesn't matter what order, we just want a ballpark team to go into our shortlist to start with. And to start with, I think we are going to go to Michael Suter first. So one team you would put into a top 5 in the last 20 years, and why?
Okay, so it's easy answer for me if I'm the first, because it's not because Kare is here, but Sorum in the last 2 years, they show an impressive kind of game. They were dominant in the 2 aspects of the game, the side out phase and the transition phase. This is one of the points why I put awesome team in the second group, let's say from 6 to 10. Because maybe these teams from 6 to 10 were amazing side out, I can make an example with Bartu Kolodinsky from Russia. There was a team that I've been coaching, but the relationship block defense, it was not that special. So I pick as a first team in the first group Sorum, because they have an amazing side out phase and amazing transition phase.
Amazing. The first choice, a team that have changed the game completely over the past couple of years. So they're in. Mr. Solustri, thank you. Let's go to Mr. Suter. Your first choice and why. It can be the same team. It doesn't matter, but still just your reason why you would still select the same team if it is the same.
Yeah, it was a fun task to do. I think I changed it every time I had my 5 together. So I just go with what is actually now in front of me on the paper, and I just start with the team that left like a big impact over the last decade. And because of the consistency and being good, I put Samoilovs Smedins in my top 5, because if you look back and just one look at the world rankings from the time they actually played together, they just so many times in top 5 they ranked they ranked the world ranking. So I think in their way of playing, they have just such a complete game and made it to big results over the last decade.
They have 13 international wins, which is the most recorded by a European team in world volleyball. So that's some stat for the Latvians, and it's a team that obviously Marco is now coaching as well. So we have them and Sorum. Obviously Sorum have won 10 international tournaments and currently the world #1 team, twice European champions and the world champion bronze medalist from this year as well. So as we're talking about the beach volley Vikings, let's head to the head Viking, Mr. Mol. Your first team.
Yeah, thank you. I have to choose Brink, Julius Brink and Jonas Reckerman as my team within the 5, and also maybe for me also one of the top teams in this decade. And the reason why is, of course, I think they were the first to win the Olympic gold medal from European teams, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, Marco, you are good in remembering things, but I think they are the first European team to win the gold medal in Olympics. They won also the World Championship and also a lot of titles in World Tour, but also European Championship. I don't know if they won twice or once, but I think they won it in Norway. At least they won the World Championship in Stavanger. So for me, I would put them on the top.
They are in for sure. So Brink Reckerman, Olympic gold medalist from London, World Championships 2009, and they're the only European team to also do the treble, so World, Europeans, and Olympics as well. So they're going to be strong contenders, I feel.
Actually, they are the only European team that has won the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Because before only American and Brazilian.
And they're dominating the sport for so long beforehand. So number 2, let's go back to Mr. Solustri.
Yeah, just because, I mentioned that Reckerman Brink, they were the only European team to win the Olympic Games. I would give a bigger tribute to Jonas, because I consider Jonas, his career was, let's say, short, because he retired when he was definitely not old, especially if we consider how many beach volleyball players play till 40, in the 40s. But I would put in the top 5 also Jonas with Marcus Dickman. This is maybe some coaches I don't remember, but let's say from 2000, in the decade 2000-2010, there was a really dominant team, and it was one of the few European teams that was beating constantly the Brazilian. In that period, Brazilian had 4 or 5 teams that were amazing. We had the last World Tour with 4 Brazilian teams in the semifinals. I remember many of them. Also podium, completely Brazilian podium. And one of the few European teams that was interacting this podium, this Brazilian dominance, was Reckerman Dickman. So I would put Reckerman in this top 5 ranking, also with a different partner than Julius, and I put with Marcus.
Would you would put him in twice?
Yeah, I put twice in my ranking. I put Reckerman, not only with Julius Brink, but also with Marcus Dickman.
Perfect. Thank you very much. They won the European Championship twice, 2002, 2004 as well, and had 2 international wins. So they very good, very, very good career. And obviously, Christoph Diekmann could also be added into a very good list of European beach volleyballers as well. Right, that's 3 from Solustri. We head back to Suter for a second stint. So you can name us 1, you can name us 2. This is just the barter. This is just the sparring before the big moments later on when we come up with an order for these teams. So spar away, Mr. Suter. What have we got?
Yeah, I play an easy game here. The name was just mentioned. I put as well in Julius Brink and Jonas Reckerman. Yeah, they won the triple. I think this was one of the teams when I was really starting into beach volleyball as in a more sophisticated way, that this team was just like so interesting to watch. Also what they like, just the complexity of the game, how they put it in on the court, and to learn from them, to understand the game in this way. Yeah, the results already speak for themselves, and for sure also one of my favorites. So this needs to be in top 5.
So they're in everyone's top 5 so far, with the Olympic Games gold in London, world champions in 2009, a bronze in 2011, and then a host of world tour wins. One thing to maybe hold them account for is that they haven't got as many international wins. So something to hold later, they've won 5 times on the world tour, so not quite as successful as other teams on a regular basis, but they have what I'm going to call the triple crown of the European, the world, and the Olympic Games.
Like many German teams, they were often injured, and like many German teams, they were clearly making a plan for their season. So this year we rest for 4 months, we recover for 6 months, and then we go for World Championship, we go for Olympics. This is something I also know very well, their coach, Jürgen, and we were talking a lot back in those years, because I was training the Austrian, he was training Reckerman, Dickman, and then Reckerman Brink. So many times they really had this plan. And now we rest, we recover, but then they were going for the big event.
Yeah, they very much had an interrupted season on their way to winning the Olympic gold as well, with injuries galore. So maybe it makes it even more. Jorg Wagner, who also coached Laura Ludwig and Kira Volkenhorst to Olympic gold 4 years later as well. So, Mr. Mol, back to you, sir. Your second team, and you are allowed.
I have to pick somebody else, as you have mentioned, and I want to pick Paolo Nicolai and Daniele Lupo. And they have contributed a lot of years with humility and great play, and they have also won a lot of world tours and double European championship, and of course also the silver from Rio. So I think definitely those are worth a place among the top teams of Europe the last decade.
A phenomenal team that have won European championships 3 times. 14, I think I need to check here, 14, 16, 17. They've European championships. So when you're looking at top teams from Europe, I think that's a great call, and their name should be in the hat for sure. So we've got 2 from Kare, we've got 3 from Solustri, and we have 2 from Mike. So let's head back to Mike and then get a third team from you. We're getting somewhere, and we're getting somewhere quick.
Yeah, great. I just put it in. Mol Sorum was for me on the list of, like, we talking about the best team of the last 2 decades. So that was the only thing that was like, yeah, we are just at the end of of this time period. So is it already a team of the decade or the last 2 decades? But still, they need to be in. There are 2 European champions on their palmarès, 10 World Tour victories, I guess, if I have it right, in the last 2 years. So yeah, the results and the game they play with their side out numbers, with their transition block defense game, it's just they need to be in there as well.
Kare, would you agree?
I agree on this because it's hard to be
biased.
colored by this, but I think when I see the numbers, I see it also. They have they are just 2 wins, missing 2 wins in the World Tour to have the most wins in Europe, and they have also 2 European Championships. So I think they clearly are among the top 5.
Your team lost 5 games all season.
Yeah, the last season only 5 games, so they have some amazing numbers the last 2 years. I think for sure they are among the top 5 here.
We also know how humble you Vikings are. Must be tough one to decide whether you put them in or keep them out yourself. But everybody's putting them in for you. Marco, number 4 from you then, please.
For sure, I have another team that for me is clearly in the top 5 in the 2 decades. Regardless, it's a very like Mike said before about Mol Sorum. They are playing now and they're still very young, but I would put for sure in the top 5 of the 2 decades, and it's Krasilnikov Stoyanovski. Stoyanovski, I don't know, is 24 or. A few years ago, he won the Union Olympics. I was there in China. He was 19 a few years ago, so maybe he's 23, 24 now, no more than that. He's really dominant physically, but it's that boy that despite of the 205, 206 height, he moves like a short guy on the court. He's set really good. He's quick. He's quick on the sand. He has an amazing jump serve. Krasilnikov already did some good results with Semyonov, but now I think with Stoyanovski it's a different chemistry. I can see the team is much more focused on the game, and they won the World Championship. The last one, they won the World Championship. So for me, the way this team is playing, it really deserves to be top 5.
Yeah, they've only won full season, but already they're one of only 3 European teams to win the World Championship, and they also won 4 events on the World Tour, which it sets up a really exciting future with the other team bracketers. So Krasilnikov, Stoyanovski, they're added. That's for number 4. Mike Suter, 4th team for you, sir.
Yeah, now it's going to be tough because you leave some names behind that's just like you need to decide between. But I'm still going for my number, and pick Número 3. A team again with a few European Championship titles. A team that was so consistent in the years they actually, after they transitioned from indoor to beach, and still played in their age, phenomenal career. So they were among the top teams on the world, and top 3 in the European teams for many years in the world ranking. So I put them in my top 5.
So Reinder Nummerdoor and Richard Schwal from the Netherlands. They won 9 events together, but they both won gold medals at European Championships indoors. Schwal won an Olympic Games indoors as well, and they won the European Championships 3 times in a row. Period of time. They need to do it through that period of time. Vikings are a team that could equal that achievement, but the Lions did it in the 90s. That was in the 2000 to 2020. So Nummerdoor and Shaw are in. Kare, number 4, 4th choice.
I agree on on the other choices, but I also think that Brouwer Meeuwsen should have a place in the top 5. So I have to pick Brouwer Meeuwsen, also winning the gold in the World Championship in Poland in 2000 and yeah, when was it?
15 maybe.
13.
13.
13.
Yeah. But I also like Adrian Gavira and Pablo Herrera. Maybe not winning any gold medals in the World Championship, but playing at a consistent high level over so many years. But I have to add Brouwer Meeuwsen to the list.
Brouwer Meeuwsen, world champions in 2013 and Olympic bronze medalists from Rio as well. So that's all 3 teams from Europe that have won in the mix. Also, Herrera Gavira.
Herrera could also be there with his partner Bosman, but I think Herrera Gavira with their consistency over so many years.
That would be your 5.
Yeah.
Herrera Gavira here, I have made a note that they have 3 international wins. They've played together since 2009, but they've only finished outside the top 10 on 24 occasions from 142 events, which is very impressive.
If we talk about consistency, is no doubt the Herrera Gavira the world champion, because I don't know how many teams have been playing together for so many years, and regardless the injury, because once in a while Herrera had a major injury, but they have been really at the top for so many years. So if we talk about consistency, by far Herrera Gavira.
Yeah, I agree. Would that be your 5th choice, Cora, Herrera Gavira?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we have 5 from you. Marco, you've got your 5th choice.
Yeah, my 5th choice actually is Lupo Nicolai, like Corey already mentioned, because regardless the titles that we discussed, the European Championship, the silver in Rio, Nicolai has been really dominant blocker and hand setter and great jump server. And Lupo brought to the game this, how should I call this freshness, this, he's so spontaneous, so naive. You know, I remember when he was 18, 19, first time he beat, I think was Ricardo Pedro Cunha. Ricardo was already 35 or for sure, and Cunha was already 32 or 33, and the match point, it was like 20-19 in the second. Lupo played a defense on one, like tomahawk on the other side in the corner. So this is a kind of player that has something more than good technique, good physical performances. It's craziness, you know, he plays light. It's a boy like that. I know him very well. And I think it's a gift to the sport to have some players that can play that style.
Perfect.
I agree.
Thank you.
I couldn't put it better myself in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to leave it there and go straight to Mike Suter, because that was a great tribute to Mr. Lupo. Mike Suter, number 5, your choice.
Yeah. I stick with the Dutchies and I put in as well Brouwer Meeuwsen. Consistent in their way of playing. They found their way of being efficient, effective, and trying to evolve over the last 2 years though, but super consistent over the years. Great way of playing, power game, high reach, and just they need to be in my top 5 as well.
Perfect. So Brouwer Meeuwsen have made it. Funny enough, I made a short list of a few teams and we're almost there. So far, Cora, we have Brink, Reckerman, Nicolai Lupo, Mol, Sorum, Brouwer Meeuwsen, Herrera Gavira. Marco Solustri, we have Mol, Sorum, Reckerman Diekman, Reckerman Brink, Krasilnikov, Stojanovski, Nicolai Lupo. and Mike Suter. We have Samoilovs and Smedins, Kare Mol, Sorum, Control, and Meeuwsen. Do we all understand our shortlist now?
Short list, but not ranking, right?
Yeah, that's our short list. And now we have to try and rank a top 5. So it means to anybody watching, we're going to have to lose a couple as well from our 8 or 9 that we've shortlisted together. So how are we looking to rank this over the next few sort of moments? We have teams that have changed, I think, the way the sport has been played and will be played for the future. So we have teams that have taken the game to a new level. We have teams that have won multiple European accolades, Olympic accolades. And then we have teams who have been very successful on the world tour as well. So this is where going to get very, very interesting over the next 10 minutes or so, where we try and whittle down 5 teams of the decade. And remember, if you're watching at home, you don't have to agree. That's absolutely not the point, but we're going to do our best to come up with the top 5. So let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, the way that this is going to work is that we're going to come up with a couple of them on the list for the team to finish 5th, and then we're going to work as a 3. So we're going to vote for the team. We're going to come up with another small shortlist, and you're going to vote for the team that you would like to be placed in 5th. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we will try. It's hard. I'm only thinking how to place them, but let's go. We will find out.
So, can you please name out of the ones that we've spoken about before, who would you have as a 5th place team from that short list of 8 that I'm counting at the moment?
The 5th team of those.
Very difficult.
There were no easy days in this office, guys. No easy days. Every day.
Because we have more names than 5 names now, so we have to exclude some, and I think on the top 5 for me, maybe not Herrera Gavira, but as the 5th, maybe Smedins, Samoilovs, they deserve to be higher than 5th, I think. Brouwer, Meeuwsen, 4th or 5th. It's hard to say, but
there we go. Brouwer, Meeuwsen.
Yeah.
Does anybody agree with that first of all? Because if there's an agreement here, then Brouwer, Meeuwsen are his team, regardless of the last 20 years.
You know, I didn't put in my top 5 Brouwer, Meeuwsen. Of course, they are an unbelievable team, but what you mentioned before, I like, you said the team that brought something new in the sport. And they, in my opinion, they are doing very well things that other teams were doing already. So they didn't create a special system, a special way of playing. So this is, you know, it's hard. Sometimes you say something like that because they are an amazing team. But yeah, if Kare put number 5, for me, it's okay. But I didn't put in my short list, so I will give you a different name, right, for number 5.
Well, how about Mike suits us a number 5 team, and then Marco, you have the final choice.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm choosing. If I'm agreeing, then it's already, then Marco doesn't.
If you agree, then Brouwer, you get the 5th spot.
Yeah, it is on my list as number 5.
Okay, so let's put number 5, no problem. Because I would have put Krasniqi Stoyanovsky number 5 probably, but 2 out of 3, let's put the Dutchies.
Yeah, very, very close. And again, that's a beautiful thing. I don't think we're all going to fully agree, but we have to come up, finally whittle it down. I think we'll be very, the first 2 or 3 spots will be very, very close, to say the least. Number 4, let's go with you then, Marco, for 4.
I would put Lupo Nicolai.
Anybody like to agree or maybe debate with Marco on his decision?
Again, but it's so hard this, but for me it also could be Samoilovs Smedins that are number 3 or 4 in Nikolai Samoilovs Smedins, but for me it's also okay to have Nikolai Lupo on the 3rd spot here.
Okay.
On the fourth spot. So yeah.
Mike Suter is coming to you for the decision. We're going to give you the choice between Nikolai Lupo and Samoilovs Smedins, which is wonderful because your team are probably going to have to play them both very soon.
Yeah, exactly. But you know that you put me in a position that I don't really like as a Swiss guy to decide.
Yeah,
I want to stay neutral. I don't like that. No, just kidding. So actually, I didn't have Nikolai Lupo on my top 5, but it was like hard one, and like I was jumping between like the last spots there. But if you guys come up with them at 4th place, yeah, I think Kare said it's before, like very humble, and actually they deserve a spot in the top 5. So I can live with them on spot 4.
So but you did choose Samoilovs and Smedins in your top 5 that are potentially missed out. So to give some clarity to where we're at the moment, teams that haven't got in, Brinkman, Sorum, Numidor and Troll from the Netherlands, Stojanovski and Krasilnikov, Brouwer, Meeuwsen are the team that have been confirmed. Nikolai and Lupo we're talking about now with Samoilovs, and Reckerman and Diekman is as well. So we're thinking that if we potentially go through now with Nikolai and Lupo, 3-time Europe champions in 4 years, Olympic silver medalists, so completely within their right, or the vote going the other way is Samoilovs Smedins. They won the World Tour in 2013 and 14, are currently the team in terms of international events that Europe have ever had, with 13 wins. But then going forward, we still have to think about Krasilnikov, Stojanovski, Mol, Sorum, Brink, Reckerman, Nikolai Lupo, Samoilovs and Smedins if they don't go through, Reckerman and Diekman as well. So it's getting to the point where potentially we might be missing out on some pretty big teams as well, depending on what we're betting on. So it's getting interesting to say the least. So do we want to put through Nick Lupo with their Olympic silver and their 3 European championships, or Samoilovs and Smedins who have won the World Tour, but they haven't got an Olympic medal, but they have got 1 European championship? That's the question. And later on, the team that misses out between Lupo, Nikolai, Samoilovs and Smedin, will they still fit the order at 3, 2 and 1 with Brink, Reckerman, Mol, Sorum, Stojanov, Silnikov, etc. Still to choose from? So that's the difficult question that we're currently proposed with.
Yeah, I think it's fair to have Nikolai Lupo on the 4th spot. For me, they are also in front of Krasilnikov and Stojanovski. So if you have Brouwer on 5th, I think it's fair to have them in the 4th spot. And it's really close with Samoilovs Smedin, but I have then Samoilovs Smedin in the third spot here. But I don't know.
Wow. Okay, it's getting really interesting to say the least, with some of the best minds at the moment. So anybody disagree? Nikolai Lupo going as a 4th best team of the generation 2002, 2004.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay,
I agree as well.
3-time European champion, Olympic silver medalists. That's a pretty good return from the last 20 years for sure. Right, Mike Suter, coming to you first this time. The 3rd team. So who's your third pick for us to send forward to have a debate on the best team of the last 20 years?
As I already have it on my list, it's Samoilovs Smedins on 3.
Samoilovs Smedins from Latvia on 3. As we just said, 13 wins internationally. A team that have also their very expansive style and have taken the game into new directions at times as well throughout that period of, I think they started playing together in 2013 after the Olympic Games in 2012. Marco, you're coaching at the moment. How's that been?
You know, when you coach a team, I want to be really honest. You know, when you coach a team, you really see all the problem of the team. You see more the problem than the good thing. So I don't feel like, I'm really super honest. I don't feel like they can be in the top 3 of the 2 decades, because I see what we can improve. Maybe in 2 years, we will be the best of the 2 decades if we work hard. But in this moment, I feel I put them actually in my second group from 6th to 10th of the 2 decades. So of course, if 2 out of 3, they agree to put them number 3, it will be fine for me. But my idea was to put one of the Reckerman team. So either Reckerman Brink or Reckerman Dickman. And one of the reasons why I want to put this team is because of the intensity. For me as a coach, a team that can focus as much as the German could do it, it's something spectacular. For me, the dedication, the determination that I saw in the eyes of Reckerman, Brink, and Dickman when they were playing is something that, you know, they give 100%, maybe under 5%. For me, these German teams have something more because they had this determination to play every point like it was the match point of the Olympic Games. So that's why I would put number 3, either Reckerman Brink or Reckerman Dickman. Just my humble opinion.
Okay, you have to choose one, either Reckerman Brink or Diekman. So
I choose Reckerman Brink.
Okay, so would anybody like to add anything to that about Samoilovs and Smedins, or do you think Marco trying to keep his team hungry?
I don't agree with Marco here. I think that Samoilovs Smedins deserve a place among the 3 best teams of the. And maybe they with Marco they will be back again on the top. But they have 13 wins, so that's a fact. And they have won the most World Tour tournaments of the European teams. So, and I have also the Germans, but I have them higher. So I think Samoilovs Smedins and also with Michel voting as number 3, I also give my vote to Samoilovs Smedins for them.
I'm glad about that.
I have a feeling that this airs that you might get a phone call for Mr. Samoilovs asking questions. Yeah. Final opinion on that? Are you happy to see Samoilovs and Smedins go through as the 3rd top team of the last 20 years?
Heck yeah, I agree.
Anything Kare or Mike would like to add on the difference between sort of Samoilovs and Smedins and Nikolai Lupo and all that sort of comment that Marco just gave, or are you sort of from an opposition quite happy with the intensity that they bring?
I'm happy with them. I think also Samoilovs Smedins, they are icons, and they brought something special to the game, and they play with passion, and it's always fun to watch them. And also they have results. They have won the most World Tour tournaments of the European teams. So that's for me, that's numbers, and the numbers are not lying in this.
And also, Mike, you were saying earlier that you were looking at the world rankings for a period of time and that they were so consistent in the top 5 in the world for such a long period of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they also are ahead. Like yeah, we have Brouwer, Meeuwsen, and Nicolai Lupo always with top results. But if you look back, Samoilovs, Smedins was topping the world ranking, and yeah, like Kare said, yeah, with the results, with the most tournament wins, and yeah, maybe like the last one year, like the season was maybe not the best, but I saw them coming back strong this year. So no matter what, how it looks like at the moment or how the last year was, they remain one of the top 5 teams for me, and they are fitting well in the third spot in the top 5 of European teams.
Okay, so we have the following teams ready to go into the last 2 places. So now it gets really interesting. This is where I think debate is going to catch fire, which is great because it's already started to catch a bit of fire out there between you guys. We have Brink Reckerman, we have the Vikings, we have the Russian pairing, Stoyanovsky Krasilnikov, we have Herrera Gavira, and we have Reckerman and Diekman as well, left for 2 places in our 5 top teams of the decade. 2 decades. Okay, who would like to go first? Because now for me it's getting really interesting. Marco,
I can start. You know, I totally agree with Kare that numbers don't lie, but you have also to compare with the length of the period that you play and the number of events that you win. Okay, why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because in my opinion, Reckerman, Diekman, they I don't remember how many years they played, but for sure not many. And also they were injured a lot. So this is in my philosophy, you don't get injured by accident. You get injured maybe because you push too much, because you are stressed. Oh, this is a limit in a player to get too many injury. But once we say this, in my opinion, Reckerman, Diekman were really amazing. And maybe some coaches, they don't remember them very well because they start to play maybe 20 years ago or something like that. But in the teams remaining, I would put number 2, Reckerman, Diekman, ahead of Reckerman, Brink. And of course, it would sound strange because Reckerman, Brink, they won the Olympic Games. But because in my opinion, the team itself was a little bit stronger than Reckerman, Brink. So as a second, I put Reckerman, Diekman.
Controversy, Solustri. Who's in some controversy here? So you would say that Brink Reckerman wouldn't be in your top 5, or would they be number 1?
They were in my top 5, but now we have only 2 spots left, and there is one team that must be in the top 5, and we know which one.
You wouldn't have Brink Reckerman now top 5 because the other teams have taken the places.
Yeah, exactly.
Big work on this debate show with Brink Reckerman's track record of winning the Triple Crown. So, Marco, you've gone for Reckerman and Diekman in number 2. So the pressure is going to be on Kare at the moment because we're going to Mike with the second selection. So we're going to leave it to the cool Viking on the left-hand side of my screen to decide. So Reckerman and Diekman, number 2.
On my list, and it's also my understanding and a bit of like what's maybe missing in the list of what you already achieved. There's the Triple Crown of Julius Brink and Jonas Reckerman. This is for me then the number 1, and I put Mol Sorum on 2. Just also because like I already said recently, Mol Sorum on 2, because they have incredible numbers. They've shown incredible beach volleyball over the past 2 years. There's still something left that they need to achieve to get number 1 of the number 1 team of the last 2 decades, and that's in my eyes a world champion title or Olympic medal to earn that spot. So I have 2 Mol Sorum and already spoiled number 1 Brink Reckerman.
Okay, so then we head over. What a time to come over back to Norway to talk to Sorum, because this is a tough decision for you to either go with Reckham and Diekman, or obviously the team that you've coached so tremendously well over such a large period of time, that you are, just for the record, more than entitled to put forward to win this competition as well. So it's a tough decision. I think that's why it's such a tough debate and such a tough show.
Yeah, for me, it's actually not that tough. That we are among the top 5 teams in the world after 2 years is just amazing, and that we now are among the top 2 teams is for me tremendous achievement. And I agree with Michael here that for me the best team of the decade, the European team, is Julius Brink and Jonas Reckerman for sure, and that's because of the Olympic gold. It's of course also of the World Championship, Stavanger, and the European Championship. So the youngsters, they are too young for this. So I don't want to have them as number 1. I have to face them on practice tomorrow, and they have some more years. So maybe if we discuss it in a couple of more years, I think they are also in the top of our minds now, because of we are in the last 2 years of the decade, and so it's in the top of our mind. But if we can see it in a perspective, I think they brought something new to the game. But I think still I put Brink and Reckerman as number 1, and Sorum as number 2.
Okay, so the Vikings, Anders Mol, Christian Sorum goes second. Sorry to Solustri, you have been out-muscled in Switzerland and in Norway on that way. Anders Mol, Christian Sorum, 10 career victories in the past 2 years, in the last 2 European Championships, bronze medal at the World Championships this year. I think you're doing yourself a slight injustice, Kare, because obviously you won 5 events in a row season before last, and you've had 20 events in a row in the top 10. That's some record, with 7 wins in 2019. That's a record that's not matched in consistency. So I think that Mol Sorum have completely deserved their place among the best teams of the last 20 years, even though they're fresh in our minds. They're exceptional, and I think we all agree that Mol Sorum are an exceptional.
Yeah, exactly. Just exactly, for same that I said before, with only so few tournaments. That's why I want to put Mol Sorum first, because with only basically 2 years and 20 tournaments, they won so many that, of course, they had no time to win the big title, because the big title was this year and has been postponed. And just in my evaluation about the team, in my opinion, now really I would like to ask Kare, what does he think, that they can put together the determination, because when you see Mol Sorum on the court, you see their focus. They want to win. Every ball is important. But in the meantime, they are smiling, and they're playing a little bit like Lupo, from a feeling, from an emotion. So in my opinion, they are putting together these 2 crucial point, a mental point, attitudinal point. So in my opinion, only if we saw them for such a short period, I can only forecast a really bright future. It is my humble opinion. Kare, what do you think?
Yeah, I appreciate your opinion, and I'm actually sweating when you're telling this. But as you said, if you have your own team, you're also looking for weaknesses, and I can see the weaknesses, and we are every day working on them. But I know they have some really humble, good, and well-skilled players, which they are special. They are special for me, and they're special for the beach volleyball right now. But they can't have it all.
Wow, they have it. Mike, anything you'd like to add?
No, good from my side. I think everything is said. We have our top 5.
And we still have...
I don't want to be mean with Julius. Of course, I would put Reckerman Brick in the top 3, but because of the number left, I could put only one Reckerman team, and I pick Dickman Reckerman. But of course, Reckerman Brink, I totally agree also that are amazing from what they achieved and from the style, from their intensity. I mean, no doubt about that.
So you will pick for that first spot, Diekman Reckerman? Or
No, I would put Mol Sorum.
As the first choice.
My first was Mol Sorum, and second Reckerman Dickman, because I think Reckerman Dickman were a little bit better than Reckerman Brink. And now Brink is completely out of my ranking, so this is a little bit weird.
I think it's a fascinating compliment to the Vikings, because you've coached at every Olympic Games apart from Rio. That you've got a very well-rounded view of this for sure. To have that comment to say that Mol Sorum are number 1 is it's a big claim, and it's a very.
But like Kare said, also to be humble, it's extremely important quality. This kind of quality is very difficult to teach or to coach. You are a humble person. It's a gift from nature, and then with that one you can grow, you can improve, and this is special. Like Kare said, these are special guys.
Also incredibly smart on the court.
But Louis, I don't think you should broadcast this, because I'm the one voting my team as the second. So I'm looking forward to face them tomorrow to tell this, that I didn't vote you as the number 1. So some other did. So I will make the debate tomorrow in practice.
They've gone in as number 2, so yeah. they are the second place team. They're Marco's number 1 team, but we have to come up with a selection for who wins. So I think we're quite clear. Mike, you are on team Brink Reckerman, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Because of the Triple Crown, because of what it takes to win the Olympics as a European team, thing that has only been done that once. To win the World Championships has only been done by 3 European teams in history. So that's some reward as well. And also to win the European Championships on 2 occasions. So they have won the Triple Crown. So Brink Reckerman are currently at number 1 alongside, well, we need to maybe debate this, or are we all happy that Brink Reckerman are the top team from our panel of experts between the years of 2000 and 2020.
I also give my vote to Brink and Reckerman. That's yeah. So for me, it's a really good choice.
Wow. Well, there you have it. The teams that just miss out on that top 5: Krasilnikov, Stoyanovsky, who are probably a team that we will talk about for the next decade, being in this team of the decade that's coming up, 2020 and onwards. Herrera, Gavira, and also Marco's team of Diekman and Reckerman, who are also obviously or were a phenomenal team as well. So there we have it. Brouwer Meeuwsen from the Netherlands are the 5th top team as ranked by our judges. Very good judges as well. Samoilovs Smedins also missed out on that 4th spot, but they took the 3rd spot. Upo and Nikolai took rank 4. Samoilovs and Smed number 3. Mol Sorum. Very interesting for when you go to training tomorrow, Cora. I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes. And first, we have the Olympic gold medalist, world champions, and multiple European champions, Jonas Reckerman and Julius Brink. Guys, are you happy with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. For myself and the volleyball community, it's a big pleasure to have all three of you on one Zoom call, filming remotely around Europe to bring your knowledge, experience to the table and to debate really difficult subjects that there are no right or answers to. For the community, everyone watching this, please let us know your opinion. Who are your top 5 teams of the last 20 years? And it's okay to disagree. It's okay to
Absolutely.
question. And I think I speak for everyone here. We're all out to learn a little bit more about the sport that we love. Kare, Marco, Mike.
Please disagree.
Yeah, disagree away. Please cause as much fuss. Kare, Marco, and Mike, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, and for everyone watching, thank you very much for staying with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.